just where I naturally land when it comes to scent. I tend to like fragrances that are rich, dark, a bit heavy, the kinds of scents that work best in fall and winter. I wear things with leather, incense, wood, or spice because they match my style and personality. They feel more grounded and serious, and they usually perform better on my skin. So when the weather turns hot, I usually feel like I'm making a compromise. Most summer fragrances just don't suit me. They're often too thin or too bright, or they just fade away too fast. A lot of them are overloaded with synthetic citrus, or they go in a marine direction that ends up smelling like cheap body spray. Now that said, I do have a couple of exceptions, and when it's hot outside, when it's sticky and humid, and I want to wear something that fits the season without giving up the kind of structure I usually look for in a fragrance, I go with Adriad by Annick Goutal. Specifically the Eau de Parfum version. It's my default summer fragrance. I don't keep a shelf of 10 freshies to rotate through during the season. I've tried that, and most of them either disappear on me, or they just don't feel like something I'd want to be remembered by. Adriad is different. Yeah, it's fresh, but it also has depth, and I think more importantly, it holds up. It's got enough complexity to actually feel like a complete fragrance, not just a splash of citrus that vanishes after breakfast. The first thing that stands out when you spray Adriad is the lemon. It's not generic citrus, it's actual lemon. It smells like someone cut into a real lemon just right in front of you. Not sweet lemon candy, not cleaner. It's sharp, it's a little bitter, and it's a little dry. You get the peel and the pith, not just the juice. It's strong for those first few minutes. Not overpowering, but it is bold. You know right away that it's not just trying to be a crowd pleaser. Alongside the lemon, there's some bergamot. Adds a slightly floral, kind of a tea-like edge. Maybe some grapefruit or green mandarin. It's hard to pick out exact notes sometimes because the blend is pretty smooth, but the citrus definitely isn't flat. It's layered and it smells natural. Again, there's no sugar, no added sweetness, which I really appreciate. That opening actually lasts longer than you'd expect. A lot of your citrus heavy scents fade in 15 or 20 minutes. With Adriad, you still smell that citrus clearly for a good hour or more into wearing it. And during that time, it gradually transitions. It doesn't just disappear and leave you with nothing. What happens is that some green, slightly woody notes start to rise up under the citrus. I've read that there's cypress in the heart of the fragrance, and yeah, that tracks with what I usually smell. It's not foresty or pine scented. It's more of a dry kind of green, kind of a Mediterranean. It's a little herbal. It's kind of earthy, but it's not overwhelming. It helps to ground the lemon, and it adds some structure so that the scent just doesn't float away. There's also some juniper in the midsection. It's not that smells more masculine at this point, but not in a masculine by marketing type way. It's just in the sense that it's dry, clean, and restrained. And if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, whether you're new to the world of fragrances or just looking for real talk without the fluff and marketing, go ahead and like this video and hit subscribe if you like. It really does help more than you might think. But back to the fragrance. One thing that I've really come to enjoy with Adriad, especially in the summer, is layering it. Now on its own, it's already crisp and refreshing, but it does mix well with the right kind of scent. My personal choice to layer it with is this Demeter's Pina Colada. Now, that might sound like a strange pairing on paper. You got serious citrus herbal fragrance paired with something that's almost novelty sounding, but it works. The dry, zesty lemon cypress backbone of the Adriad blends perfectly with that tropical coconut pineapple sweetness of Pina Colada. What you end up with is this combination that smells like summer distilled into wearable form. You got the beach, the sun, boat drink, and a clean breeze. This Demeter scent brings a more relaxed and laid-back feel without overpowering the structure of Adriad. Although in those first couple minutes it is incredibly strong, it eventually does round out the sharper edges of Adriad, and it adds some softness and fun without making it smell like dessert. The layering doesn't really feel forced. It feels like you've just added a sunny layer over something classic. If I'm going to be out all day in the heat, or if it's just a casual summer evening and I want to go with something that smells easygoing but still intentional, that's generally the combo I go with. It just works. I think it captures the essence of summer better than anything else I've tried, but of course I'm always open to suggestions. Another thing that I like about Adriad is how it shifts slowly. Now, there's no harsh cutoff between the phases. The citrus fades, the greens rise, and eventually you're left with a very soft, low-profile base that's mostly woody and a little musky. But again, it's not sweet. It's not a sweet musk or a powdery one. It's just enough to keep the scent going on your skin. The base never takes over. It just kind of settles and just holds everything else together. Some people might call the base bland, but I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's more just clean and subtle. There's no synthetic amber or overwhelming cedar in these base notes. It just tapers off in a controlled, balanced way. Now, in terms of performance, the Eau de Parfum version is solid. Definitely better than the Eau de Toilette, which, in my experience, fades too quickly to be useful. I spritz it on in the morning and it's gone by the time I get to the office, but fortunately, you don't run into that issue with the Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum version lasts a good 4 to 6 hours on me, sometimes upwards of 8, which I think is pretty impressive for a citrus forward scent. The projection isn't huge, but it is noticeable for those first few hours. After that, it does sit closer to the skin, but it never disappears entirely. I've caught whiffs of it on my collar 8, even 10 hours after applying it one time, especially after it's a warm day and I was moving around. That's honestly more than I expect out of any fragrance built around citrus. Now, it is worth mentioning that there are slight differences between versions and batches. Some people talk about reformulations, and I've noticed that a bottle from a few years ago did seem slightly different from the newer one. That's just something that happens with a lot of fragrance. Ingredients change, regulations will shift, and formulas will get adjusted. But the eau de parfum still delivers the general character of Adriad in a way that I find consistent enough. If you're debating which version to try, I'd recommend skipping the eau de toilette. Just go straight for the eau de parfum. It's not just stronger, I think it's more balanced and more complete overall. Now, as for occasions, this is one of the few fresh scents that actually feels versatile. I wear it casually in the summer, obviously, but I've also worn it to more formal, warm weather events. It works in an office, at a restaurant, on a walk, even on vacation. It doesn't come off as loud or trendy. It just smells clean, sharp, put together. I wouldn't wear it in cold weather. It just doesn't make sense then. But for spring, and again especially summer, it's pretty much my default choice when I want something that feels fresh without being generic. So, I guess to sum it all up, I don't normally care for summer scents. Most of them feel like filler. They're either too light and boring, or they're too heavy and artificial. Adriad's different. It's made with quality ingredients. It lasts much longer than most fresh scents, and it actually smells like it was designed with purpose and a point of view. It doesn't try to be a people pleaser. It doesn't copy trends. It's clean. It's sharp. It's grown up. And while I still love my heavy winter scents the most, I'm definitely glad that I have this in my rotation. When summer hits, it's the one that makes sense to me. It fits the season without sacrificing the kind of personality that I look for in a fragrance. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it gets the job done, and it does it with a kind of quiet confidence that I respect. Till next time.